Hey Josh, I got some disturbing news from the show's sponsors.
Wait, Warrior Fuel?
Yeah, well, I mean, not sponsors, our only sponsor. Warrior Fuel got a hold of me.
Uh-oh.
Well, apparently there's like a major side effect that we weren't aware of, and somebody sent them a clip. It's a pretty disturbing image or video or whatever of one of the major side effects of Warrior Fuel, and I can't really, by describing it, I can't really do it justice. So I think you should go to the clip they sent us.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen this yet, but it's marked urgent. So let's see here.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Let's do it.
Hit me with the power of the ultimate warrior.
Overconsumption of Warrior Fuel may cause side effects. Warrior Fuel comes in two flavors: Roid Rage Raspberry and Coked Up Cherry. Wow. In retrospect, at the meeting when I was kind of like half-assing it about the product and how we can make it better, maybe I shouldn't agreed with that intern that said add bath salts to it. Um, I'm thinking that might have been a mistake. Have we started a zombie apocalypse here or something?
I have no idea. I didn't know that Warrior Fuel could cause someone to not die. Uh, so there's that. Um, so I guess Jolt will never go back in business again, right? Or Red Bull's fucked.
Yeah,
Uh,
like this one is going to be, you're going to live forever under this. I'm just afraid that we're gonna like overpopulate we might have destroyed the earth, man, if nobody ever dies. We're gonna have to pull back on the bath salts, I think, just a
this
little
is
bit.
the beginning of trioxin. This is the beginning, I guess. This is what the first incarnation of Return of the Living Dead was.
As long
We,
as we don't
we
get to
messed up.
as long as they don't start eating people's faces, we can fix this. We'll figure it
Yeah.
out. We'll get with our scientists, our Slash Trax scientists that work on the Warrior Fuel formula.
Yeah, Josh, all the scientists we have on payroll down here at the Slash Track Studios, huh?
Yeah, and before they change, and I'm getting more because, buddy, I'm gonna live forever.
Good evening and welcome to episode number 34 of Slash Trax Action News. I'm Alex Vanover,
And I'm Josh LaRue.
and you guys aren't.
And
Josh,
yeah,
no, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to tell you big thank you for getting me that shot of Warrior Fuel after I died at the beginning. Because if not for that, you'd be doing this show solo right now.
Yeah, you're welcome. But we've got bigger problems than you being dead. Yeah, I know. It doesn't get much worse than that. You're alive. Guess what? And Warrior Fuel, the company that brought you back to life, sent us that clip that all the Slashaholics just saw. You know, that's big time side effects, Josh. That could really mess up our financial windfall that we've been sustaining recently that could mess everything up for the network here. So we can't be having people become invincible, unable to die.
The sad thing is they saw, we didn't show them the full clip, because of transparency and legalities, but
Yeah.
they live forever, but it's not pretty after about 5 days. So
yeah, we didn't show the full clip, but that lady in the clip showed that guy a full clip of fucking bullets to the chest and to the stomach and to the asshole.
that guy, yeah, he test subject number 7, by the way. 1 through 6 is a whole nother story.
Wow, you've
Only
seen
those
6
tapes.
other videos? I thought you told me that was the first video you saw with a problem.
It's the first one that matters.
Okay. Yeah, the other 6 were just interns, apparently. Yeah, the guy in today's video, Slashaholics, he was actually on the board down here at the Slash Trax Network, so he mattered. So yeah, it's a problem. Hey, Josh, how could the Slashaholics write in to us and talk to us personally and maybe suggest ask a Dear Slashy or maybe suggest who would win? How would they get a hold of us, Josh?
One of these things on the screen right now. You can write us at slashtrax2020@gmail.com. We love hearing from you, even if you're just wanting to shoot the shit, if you're wanting to yell at us in all caps, be unreasonable, whatever. Or if you just want to say hi, if you want to have us sponsor your products or anything like that. Like he said, the Ask Slashy recommendations for Would You Rather, slashtrax2020@gmail.com. And
Nice.
if you want to take it a step further and you would actually like to help support the channel to keep us going and growing for years to come, there's 3 ways to do that. You can join our Patreon, which is a lot of fun. You get early access to certain narration, certain podcast episodes and reviews, usually a full 24-hour early access. If you don't want to go the Patreon route, want to do a one-time donation, you can do it through our PayPal or Cash App. And the most fun way to help the channel is to order a cameo video from us. We will be your cameo. I don't want to say, I'll just say cameo prostitute. Whatever it is you want us to do. He's got a ballerina outfit ready for that request. Dancing, little sunflower thing. But no, cameo.com/Slash Trax Network. All the information to help the channel is down below and on the screen. And we can't monetize the channel on YouTube, so we depend on you to keep it going.
Yeah, no pressure. No pressure, Slashaholics. It's just, if you want to keep getting these amazing episodes, in the future and stuff, get some cameos, okay? Josh, enough with the business, okay? Because that's my least favorite part of the show. Let's get into a little nice comment, mean comment, nice comment.
We have a mean comment?
We do.
I'm shocked.
And I had to search the bowels of hell for it. But I found one. A mean comment that'll make us remember that we suck.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Nice comment. It's obvious these guys are genuinely having a good time. Not some super prepared, obnoxious podcast like most. And that is from Wizard for Social Media. And he's talking about Slash Trax Action News number 33.
Wow. It's a little mean what you said about Joe Rogan there, but thank you so much. We appreciate that. We are having fun. It's all on the cuff. That's why sometimes our jokes don't land, but we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun whiffing those. So that's what matters.
You just whiffed that because it means off the cuff. We're off the cuff. You said on the cuff.
Oh, see, it just happened right there. That's worse than continuity instead of continuity.
And no, folks, we're not hitting the edit button on that because that shit's gold, son. Hey, Josh, mean comment.
That was pretty mean what you said.
No, it wasn't.
Like that. Most people probably didn't even catch that. And now.
Oh, stop. Yeah, what about when I said I was in the upstairs basement, you dick? Okay. Moving forward.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. Mean comment. Couple low rent copycats. You guys need to be original. And this is from Mustafa Fakaratak, 1597. And he's talking about Slash Trax episode number 10, Jacko.
What? You really did have to search the bowels of hell.
I did. So Mustafa for Karak to Tanaka to who gives a shit, 1597. We're a couple low rent douchebags. So
Mustafa.
yeah.
Mustafa.
Yeah,
Well,
he didn't like our riff on Jacko.
I think what happened there is we didn't know that Riff Trax was doing Jacko for that Halloween until after we put our episode out. But some people said that we did better than them.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. The comment like Slashaholics, if you go to Jacko, our episode on the channel here, and you look at the comments, it's like 97% positive. And the comment right above this guy is oh my god, Riff Tracks just did this. You guys did so much better. You guys are the kings of riffing on the internet. And it's like kind of like anything in life. It's like, everybody's got an opinion. Never believe your good press and never believe your bad press. It's always somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Definitely. Are we the best? Probably. Are we the worst? No. You know what I mean?
We're up there somewhere.
Yeah, we're somewhere up in the upper echelons. I mean, we're not like the best, but we're like, the best.
We're somewhere up above the email address or whatever's above us right now. Somewhere there.
Yeah, slashtrax2020@gmail.com. Go ahead and write us. If you've got a suggestion for a future Slash Trax movie for season 4, you'd like to see us riff, or if you have a who would win, which is becoming a very popular new segment, Josh, like who would win? Mr. T versus, Pee Wee Herman, stuff like that. Send it into the channel, send it into the email. We'll discuss it, and we will give you some publicity on an upcoming episode of Slash Trax News. Josh, last nice comment of the show.
All right.
Fantastic finale. Did the Rodeo Clown just hint at a season 4 episode being Ghoulies 4? ? And that's from Sean Story 1521. And he's talking about Slash Trax season 3 finale, Freddy versus Jason.
That was a lot of fun riffing that movie, but
that was.
I don't know. I think we can break the fourth wall just once and give kind of a big reveal here on the podcast that yes, Ghoulies 4 will finally get riffed after all the dancing around it. Master Evil's already got Bride of Chucky set up for the premiere of Slash Trax season 4, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure episode 2 is going to finally be Ghoulies 4, where they gave up on the practical puppet route and just went with a couple little people in costumes.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be bad.
It's not as bad as Carnosaur 4, where they just re-splice and reuse footage from Carnosaur 2.
Hey, that one's on my list, by the way. My rotate list.
Oh my god. Ghoulies 4. We've been teasing that movie for about 4 years now. Seriously, like our first episode was Jason X and of Slash Trax, and that was 2020. And I'm gonna be honest, I think it was like right when COVID broke out. It was like right then. So we've been teasing that for 4 years. We've been teasing it longer than a Zach and Kelly engagement on Saved by the Bell, guys. Laura and Steve on Family Matters. We've been teasing the shit out of Ghoulies 4, and guess what? You're finally going to get paid off, Slashaholics. It's coming, buddy.
We'll just make that episode feature length, like the wraparounds, and we'll just call it Slash Trax the movie. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Yeah, it's been 4 years. Yeah, build up. Yeah, anticipation. Dig it. Yeah. We got the hand puppets from hell. Ghoulies 4. Yeah, finally are about ready to pop all over the Slashaholics. Yeah.
Got a couple
4 years of anticipation and build up. Yeah.
Got some Abbott and Costello little people bickering back and forth throughout a movie. Yeah. I hope we survive it. That's all I got to say, but
oh, me too. It's just a pleasure being stuck in a dungeon and just with a rodeo clown, not being able to eat, being chained up like one of the kids on You Can't Do That on Television, awaiting the fucking firing squad. Just a real blast, Josh.
What do you think episode 6 will be of season 4?
Episode 6 of season 4? Trimmer 6. Probably, right?
Oh, no, I was hoping you would say a version of you don't have that information?
Oh, I know nothing.
I don't
I don't have
know.
that information, Josh. I don't have it.
Isn't I don't know? Wasn't that the trigger to get slimed or something?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I would get slimed. And if you said water, you had water dumped on your head.
Yeah.
Which, if the kids know that, why don't they just say water after they get slimed? Because then they'll get cleaned off. They never utilize that.
Make a meme of that, dude. Like take a picture of somebody getting slimed, somebody getting watered, put it side by side, and put, why did nobody ever, you might go viral.
They never did that. Like I listen, Slashaholics, Josh and I just broke new ground. You can't do that on television. Barth Burgers and all that stuff, that great show back in the 80s, they get slimed. That's where Nickelodeon slime was invented, but they never said water after they got slimed, ever. What the fuck? It's a little loophole right there. Josh, let's get into some fun facts.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, Josh. If you don't know someone's address in Iceland, you can actually draw a physical map on the front of the letter, Josh, and the postal worker will get it to your destination.
Okay, I'm either having an extreme case of deja vu, or I think we've covered this story before here on Slash Trax Action News.
Well, if we have, I don't remember it because this is hilarious.
I mean, it's still great. I think we did. I think we talked about it, but I love the story. Maybe it was when we talked about you used to be able to mail your children.
I don't know. They're pretty similar, but listen. Can you imagine being the mailman and some assholes drawing a map on the letter?
Dude, if I drew a map, it would just be like a bunch of squiggly lines with an X, like.
What do you mean you didn't get your letter? I drew the fucking map. I drew the map on the front of the letter. I can't believe this inept postal worker. What are you talking about? Yeah, of course it's insured. Yeah. No, it's not insured. No, it's not insured because I trusted my map drawing abilities. Sorry I sent you that really expensive item in the mail. I just trusted that he'd be able to read my fucking map.
I'm just picturing like sitting there trying to read that shit, man. Like if it's just like the kind of, did you ever make treasure maps whenever you were a kid?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing on the front of an envelope.
Yeah. When I was going to say, I can promise you one thing though, Josh. I'll never use this fun fact again because if we did use it before, it was so good I had to retread it, baby. I had to reuse it.
You know what? We have a lot of new viewers now than we did back in the beginning.
Yeah, dude. Our first few episodes, if I did use this, which I'm not saying I did, but if I did, our audience has grown from like 2,000 viewers on the first episode to like 110,000 viewers. So give me a little slack there, pal. There's like 99,000. I'm going to draw them a map and show them the way to get to episodes 1 and 2 where we might have used this.
Okay. It could have been when I guest hosted on Good Times, actually.
Yeah, maybe. And you know what? If we used it then, fucking nobody saw or heard it then.
Those were good shows.
They were good shows. Just nobody saw them. Hence is why Slash Trax Action News exists to this day. Hey, by the way, big shout out to Good Times with Alex and Ryan. If you want to check out some of the old stuff, you can't because it is made private on YouTube. But if you do want to check out some of the old stuff, I believe it is still available on Apple, Spotify, all that stuff.
Who made it private on YouTube?
I think Ryan did.
Oh,
I think he did. But I think it is still public on Spotify and like Apple and stuff like that. So if you want to check out the first incarnation of Slash Trax Action News, like towards the end of that show, it was Good Times with Alex and Ryan in name only because Josh and I were basically doing all the episodes towards the end.
There's a couple of those here on the channel still.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And some of my finest thumbnail work, by the way, that Macho Man toilet paper crane game thumbnail.
Yeah.
Was gorgeous. That was great.
That's one of the ones we have on the channel. That's why there's toilet paper in the opening intro for this show on the conveyor belt. Yeah. Yep.
Because, Slashaholics, I don't know if you guys remember the pandemic or not, but you couldn't go into a store and get toilet paper. There was not 100% a guarantee that you would get toilet paper because people were fucking hoarding it because they were weird.
Life was definitely not better than it is right now 4 years ago. That was a bitch. That was a bitch.
Well, I just like why is that the first thought someone has? It's like, oh man, like there's this terrible virus going around. It may kill
I
me.
don't know.
I need to be able to wipe my ass. Like that's my first thing I'm worrying about.
If I
Why is
don't
that
get
their
there,
first thought?
if I don't get there and get it all, I'm gonna have a dirty ass at some point. God,
This
I can't let
virus
it
is
happen. Gotta
terrible.
go. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Dude, Josh, this virus is terrible. It's like it killed my neighbor. Like I'm not allowed to go work in person. I mean, the government's sending us stimulus checks like this. They're telling us to shelter in place. This is all really bad stuff. I better go get some fucking toilet paper. I need to be able to wipe my ass. I need to hunker down, wipe my ass, and ride this one out in my apartment.
And by proxy, you couldn't find paper towels or Kleenex either.
Yeah, it was a bad deal. All the guys like Josh and I who've been going to the McDonald's and Taco Bell drive-throughs for years and have been hoarding the napkins in our glove boxes, we were the guys who everybody thought we were just fucking lazy and disgusting. No, we were actually really smart doing that.
We made
Not
a lot of
lazy at
money
all.
selling those napkins too. $10 a
Yeah,
pop.
yeah.
10
Check it
bucks a
out.
pop. You know, I tried going to a auto parts store during that,
Yeah.
and I went to see if they had those big old blue rough as shit paper towels, like shop towels.
You're gonna wipe your ass with that?
People had bought all those too. So yeah, it was all the way down the line, man.
Dude, there's nothing worse than a dried out, chafed ass crack, Josh. That sounds horrible. I think I'd rather have a soupy asshole than a dried out asshole.
And 10,000 viewers just turned away.
I don't listen. Comment down below. Would you rather have a chafed and dry booty or a freaking soupy booty?
Yeah, because you know
Comment
what? You
below.
might be judging us right now, but you've had it before.
Everybody's had
Don't
it
say you
before.
haven't. I don't care if
I don't
you're
even want to.
super
Yeah,
rich.
I don't want to go down that road. They're lying.
Yeah.
You know who's not lying, Josh?
What's that?
Tony Todd, because he's the next fun fact. We have a horror, spooky news fun fact, and this is a pretty good. This might be a first. We haven't had one in a long time, or ever. All right, Josh. Real bees were used during the filming of the cult horror classic movie Candyman. Before accepting the role, Tony Todd negotiated a $1,000 bonus every time he was stung. Tony cashed in 23 times.
Wow. I
Pretty
think
smart.
I think I would be like agitating the bees sometimes just so I could cash in.
I know. I would be like, I'd be like, no, I don't think I delivered my dialogue correctly on that scene. Let's run it back. Run it back. $1,000 per sting, Josh. 2,300 extra dollars, like just out of nowhere. I don't know how they include that in his paycheck from like SAG or like however that works, but you know, the line item down below.
Good thing he's not allergic.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. Like obviously he's not gonna die from these bee stings, so just run it, keep running it back. Let's get as
I'm
many as
allergic to wasps, but not like really bad. Like if they sting me, it like itches really bad for like a month,
possible.
and I get these whelps. Like I got one around my neck, like stung right on my neck one time. And you remember those pads in football that you put around your neck?
Yeah, like a neck roll. Yeah.
Yeah, my neck swelled up just perfectly, and it looked like I had a neck roll on, but it was just my skin swelled out all the way around in a circle.
They're like, Josh, you look like a freaking badass. What have you been doing? Just shrugs all day long?
Getting
Nope.
stung.
Nope. Getting my ass stung off by a wasp. Hey Josh, before Thomas Edison invented the electric light bulb in 1879,
Mhm.
most people slept on average 10 hours a day.
Wow. And they don't now? Is that what we're saying?
Well, I mean, if they're depressed, maybe, but or longer, but it's like 10 hours a day because like the standard now they say is like 7 to 8 hours for good health, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if they spun it to like, well, shit, like, you know, 10 hours is the new number or whatever. Do you think that maybe it's just arbitrary? Do you think that the governments just make it up as they go? Whatever fits their narrative on anything?
Yeah, pretty much on anything.
Probably, right?
I think like all politics, like both sides and everything have like meetings, you know. All right, this is what we're gonna be the bad guys this time. This, you know, for the next 10 years. You'll be kind of the good guys. here's how we're gonna fuck with people.
So it's like a WWE booking meeting. Like they're booking the territory, which is the United States, for the next 10 years.
Yep. That's
Okay.
what I think.
So if they have a war, they're like, all right, the Republicans are gonna attack the Democrats, but then all of a sudden Ross Perot's gonna do a run-in and his music is gonna fucking hit and the crowd is gonna go crazy.
And since we're in the Attitude Era, we got to get the president blown. Okay. So Bill, we're gonna need you to take one for the team. Hills, you're just gonna have to sit back and let it happen.
Yeah, and it's since '96 was the Attitude Era too that Josh is talking about.
Yeah.
Bob Dole, the guy who was running for Republican nomination back then, he always held a pin because his hand was like paralyzed, I think. He was bringing in a foreign object into the political warfare there. He was going to waffle Bill Clinton over the head with his pin.
You'll never know what's going to happen here on Slash Trax Action News Podcast.
We went from blowjobs to a pin in an atrophied guy's hands using it as a foreign object. Hey, and your ass chafing and using freaking shop towels to wipe your ass with. Hey, Josh, last fun fact of the episode. Movie trailers originally played after the movie.
That's why they're called
they trailed the feature film, hence the name trailer.
Yep. That's one I actually knew, but it's still kind of neat because I like staying for the after credit stuff. So it would have been perfect.
Well, it's funny you say that because like Slashaholics, if you watch our stuff, you'll know. If you watch our credits for, Slash Trax or Slash Trax reviews or Slash Trax Action News or Getting Sidetracked or any of our, stuff we do, Nick Fury always shows up at the end of one of our episodes trying to recruit us to the Avengers. Yeah. Slash Trax is actually part of phase 12 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
12 and a quarter. 12 and a quarter.
Yeah, now you know.
You know why?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you know why that they, most of them played at the end of the movie at that time period?
Why?
Because there was a lot of serialized movies back then. So you would go in and see like the black and white Batman and Robin. And you would see episode 1, the Bat Falls or something. It would have some dramatic title that has nothing to do with anything that happened in the episode. And it was kind of like a TV episode. And then the trailer for the next episode in the serial would air after it was over, telling you to come back next week when they would have episode 2, Robin's Roost or something. And that was like their hook to get them to come back, huh? That's why the trailers were at the end most of the time. Yes. To bring you back to the theater.
Damn, that's actually really smart. They do that with like novels too, right? Nowadays, like paperback novels and stuff.
Yeah. If they're books that have continuity, then yes.
Okay. Josh, so we're done with fun facts. We actually have a new segment on the show.
Oh.
Yeah, new sponsor. You guys might remember her, Slashaholics from the past. It's actually the old 90s sex advice lady, and she's sponsoring a new segment on the show, and it's Slash Trax Sex Advice. Josh, hit him with the advice, buddy.
All right, let's do it.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I just called to ask, when my girlfriend and I have sex, either with a dildo or with her fingers, when I'm getting ready to have an orgasm, I often have, like, vaginal farts or queefs. And I was wondering, is there any way to stop doing that?
No, why? Vaginal farts are wonderful things. It's something we can do. Guys can't do it. And ours don't stink. Theirs do.
I guess it's just embarrassing. And
Oh, no. You just let...
I love those old ABC bumpers, but, the topic she was talking about got me a little red-faced, just a little bit. I mean,
yeah.
At least she's
Good
not like...
though.
Huh?
Good advice, though.
Yeah. For, it doesn't work for us, but, that'd be weird if it did. At least she wasn't doing that and being the where's the beef lady.
Oh my
No.
God. The more you know. The more you know. Yeah, but I think that this new segment, this new Slash Trax sex advice, is gonna go over gangbusters, dude.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what we come up with in the future.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think this could be a warrior fuel situation. I'm like picturing merch here. Merch ideas.
You know what? Speaking
What?
of merch,
Hmm.
I may have found someone who can help us push merch to an unbelievable level. I think this guy, if I can get him, I got one of his videos where he was selling baseball cards,
Okay.
and his pitch got me to buy $7,000 worth of baseball cards. I mean, and I didn't even know I was doing it until my wife was screaming at me, "You fucking spent $7,000 on baseball cards." That's how good he is.
Okay. Let's check them out.
You're gonna be. You'll see.
I can't wait.
You buy this for $39.99. Guess what, folks? You take the L away. You put a W there, baby. You're a winner, man. You're the real deal. You're picking up chicks. Let me tell you something. You buy this set at $39.99, baby. You're the cock of the walk, man. You walk into the bar and you just find the hottest chick and you go, you, me. Guess what? She says, why would I go out with you? Because I bought the deal on Wild West Deals for $39.99. That's why. She says, can I go home with you? That's how simple it is. That's how it works. That's what this set brings to the table. Because you know what she sees? She sees a man who knows what he wants. She sees a man who says, good deals don't get by me, baby. I move, I act quick, I act now. I go to wildwestdeals.com, boom. That's why you're hanging with chicks all night long. That's why you got guys like Michael Jordan calling you, wanting to hang out with you, baby, because you bought it for $39.99. Is that crazy? That's the way it works around here. This deal will change your life. Don't look at yourself in the mirror and be disgusted tomorrow. Don't look at yourself in the mirror and go, what's wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Why am I this way?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm calling in about the
Alex,
baseball card.
you're falling for it. You're falling for it. Hang it up. He's just really good.
What are you talking? Hold on, I'm trying to get some baseball cards.
No. We know he's good, but save your money. Save your money. You're gonna really mess up. Trust me.
Okay, well, my co-host is being really rude. I'm gonna have to give you a call back. All right, bye-bye. That was rude, man. I was on hold for a little while there.
Do you really need 1990s baseball cards right now?
Well, I don't need them, but I want them. Especially after I saw that.
I know. See, he's good. He's good.
All right. Speaking of good, I need a palate cleanser because I want those fucking cards. But listen, 2020@gmail.com. Write us in and who would win. Send us to who would win. Would you rather and ask Slashy. So we're getting into that part of the show, boys and girls. Hey, Tony the Spider, or excuse me, hold on, not even Tony the Spider, Jumpin' Jeff. Are we going into who would win?
Yep.
I think that was a big fat yes.
Hold on, I got another question. I brought Tony the Spider up. Tony the Spider, the question that was written in from our friend of the show, Johnny Utah, 8348, and he wrote us in on the comment section of Slash Trax News number 33. Johnny Utah says, Josh, Alex, who would win in a fight, NWO or Cobra Kai? But I want to ask Tony the Spider first. Who'd win in this fight, Tony?
Here's Tony the Spider. If you people only knew.
Yeah. That's why we asked.
No shit.
Okay. God, man of few words. What do you think? Who would win?
Well, NWO versus Cobra Kai, huh? You got John Kreese leading the Cobra Kai. You got Johnny Lawrence. You got Dutch. You got, little known fact here, /Alex. If you go back and watch the first Karate Kid, Lamar Latrell from Revenge of the Nerds is part of Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel LaRusso actually has to fight him in his second or third match.
LaRusso.
LaRusso. You're all right, LaRusso. Okay, so they're loaded. Cobra Kai's loaded. You got the NWO though. By the end of 98, 99, they had the entire fucking WCW roster. You got Virgil, who was Vincent. You got Hollywood Hogan. You got the Disciple. You got Nash. You got Hall, Conan.
Eric Bischoff is a black belt in Taekwondo.
He is actually legitimately trained in martial arts.
Yeah,
he is.
I know he is. He is.
I always thought it was funny. This little sidetrack. I always thought it was funny when Bischoff was challenging McMahon to a fight, and everybody's like, "Well, Vince McMahon would kick the shit out of Bischoff," and I never really was on that side of the fence. I kind of thought Bischoff might, hand McMahon his ass because he actually knew how to fight.
Yep, I think he could. I think he could. Yeah,
and I think that's why Bischoff was like, "I'll call him out. I don't care. Like I can defend myself. It's fine."
I get tired of people that try to say Bischoff was just a flash in the pan that got lucky and da-da-da-da-da. He might have got lucky on landing the role of like running WCW, but without real vision, even though they lacked vision later on, his initial vision is what put WCW on the map and gave us the Attitude Era in WWF, because without Eric Bischoff doing what he did to WCW, WWF wouldn't have changed things to catch up. We would have never had the Monday Night Wars, NWO, DX, any of that. Okay. So the guy is not a flash in the pan. I love listening to him tell stories. He does this Bischoff thing where if it's something he knows he's wrong in, he's like, I don't really remember that too much.
Yeah, I don't recall.
No. I was going to say if Kevin Nash is booking it, then NWO wins, right?
I think one more thing about Bischoff. I think that we create our own luck in life, and maybe he did get a lucky break, but he had to capitalize on it, and he certainly did, because he was the only company in the history of professional wrestling that overtook WWE in popularity for over 2 years. WCW dominated.
A lot of people don't know it, but he isn't the one that made WCW bad. WCW, he turned it into like an adult version of wrestling, more stories centered in reality and things like that. And as the Attitude Era hit, the higher ups at Turner, which then became AOL Turner, they wanted
it back.
Yeah, they wanted a kid-friendly product. They wanted a PG thing to get more sponsors, but Eric had already laid down the gauntlet with the, more adult stuff, centered in reality. Vince ran with that. So he had this, when Eric had to dial it back to family friendly, Vince had the upper hand. So really the stuffed suits at Turner is what killed WCW. I mean, the NWO did get too swollen and too stale, and you had older guys who were like taking too much of it from the younger guys. But that's just this business. To this nowadays, the people that the young guys that were bitching about that, like Chris Jericho, are doing the same damn thing. But yeah, it's not the wrestling segment. I did not mean to do that to us, but I'll say NWO simply by numbers, and because Scott Hall's got a taser, he's got a cattle prod.
I mean, I think that Dutch, who was like literally crazy in the first Karate Kid, and Johnny Lawrence, who's like a legitimate badass. They book him, they write him as a badass in those movies and in Cobra Kai, the TV show. But I don't know. Hogan, Nash, Hall, Big Show.
Hogan's creative control card.
Cobra Kai's going over tonight, Hogan. That doesn't work for me, brother. There's the answer. NWO over Cobra Kai, unfortunately. Slashaholics. Josh and I actually agreed on
holy shit
on who would win. I'm saying NWO for life.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Cobra Kai.
Because it's too sweet.
Too sweet. I was gonna say one other thing. Hey, Johnny Utah, thanks for writing in.
Yes.
I was gonna say one thing about the Bischoff thing real quick. One of the other reasons that WCW, and this is so overlooked, and I don't know why, The AOL Time Warner merger is what finally killed WCW. It wasn't that the company was hemorrhaging money, because it was. Trust me, it was. But when they didn't want to be in the wrestling business anymore. So they wanted to kill that show. I think if WCW would have had huge ratings, they still would have got rid of it.
They were still the highest rated show on Monday nights for TNT.
Yeah.
And Wednesday nights for TBS. They were still the highest rated show on both networks of Turner Broadcasting.
They did not want to be in the wrestling business anymore. And that was it. That was the end of it. Josh, would you rather? And our friend James Young 24 wrote in on the comment section of Slash Trax News number 33. And he says, would you rather have $1 billion or live comfortably the rest of your life? Not wealthy, not poor, but never without.
The second one.
Really?
You can't take anything with you when you go.
Yeah.
And I don't need a lot of material things. I really don't. And that's not just because I'm a broke joke or whatever. It's just, the simple things in life make me happy. My family, my kids, my animals, friends, subscribers here on the channel. I don't know. I just don't need
I
it.
agree with you 100%, but I would do it the other way. I would take the $1 billion, because if you invest that money like in like a anything, you're going to get a certain percentage of interest back that you're going to be able to live comfortably off of. And if you invest it in stocks, you're going to get dividends X amount of dollars per year. So I'm going to take the $1 billion and still live comfortably. I'll just have $1 billion till I'm dead.
Some people might see that as living comfortably. Others might see it as having to put in too much stress and having to worry about the stock market, worry about this and worry about that, hire a guy to take care of this, hire a guy to take care of that. On my way, you're comfortable for life. You have everything you need.
Yeah.
You might not have everything you want, but you can't take it with you when you go anyways, and you don't have to worry about the what ifs. So that's why I'm going with being comfortable. So.
What do you mean what ifs? I'm either a billionaire or I'm either a multi-millionaire.
He said would you rather have $1 billion or be comfortable? Yeah. So something could happen where you lose that money and I'm still sitting over here comfortable.
I'm not losing the $1 billion. It's not happening.
It could get stolen. It could get hacked. There's so many what ifs that you're not considering.
No, I'm liquidating it. I'm putting it all like Scrooge McDuck. I'm putting it in a big money bin and I'm going to swim in that shit. And unless the fucking Beagle Boys show up, I'm good.
Okay, I'm going to show a clip real quick of why you shouldn't do that. Peter Griffin, show us why you shouldn't swim in a vault full of gold.
It's not a liquid. It's a great many pieces of solid matter that form a hard floor-like surface. Ah!
Yeah, it's not a liquid. It's a bunch of solids stacked on top of each other. You're going to break your neck.
Hey, Josh, I just hired this really awesome woman who's going to help take care of my money. Her name's Magica Dispel.
Oh, God.
I'm here to get your money, Scroogey.
Not my number one dime.
Yeah. Scroogey. I can't. Hey, Slash Alex, there's an impersonation I can't do. I cannot do Magica Dispel.
I can do
I was trying to do Scrooge.
For Scrooge.
I was trying to do Scrooge as Magica Dispel. Like Scrooge doing a Magica Dispel impersonation.
Not gonna let him get my number one dime. I can do Irish. I can't do Scottish. It's weird. So
all right. Last part of this section, we got to ask Slashy. We actually got one, Josh.
Okay.
Marie C. Vanette, and I'm pretty sure I butchered it, so I'm sorry, Marie. 5701, and she wrote into the comment section of Slash Trax News, episode number 33. She says, I want to ask someone out at work. They're currently going through a divorce, so the timing is weird, but I'm afraid if I wait too long, I'll miss my chance. Josh, Alex, what should I do?
I'm going to tell you what, the same thing we told somebody recently, and that is they were asking about keeping a job that they hate or something like that. You only live once. You cannot spend your whole life worrying about what everybody else thinks of you or how they perceive you or worrying about everybody else's feelings. I'm not trying to be cold here, but I'm telling you right now, they're not worried about yours. You have one life to live. one go round. We don't get one up mushrooms and stuff like in video games. So you either take your shot or you're going to miss your shot and live with regret. So just go for it. Who cares what people think of you doing that? Who cares?
I agree with you about 85%. And I'm only going to listen, you do only live once. And if you're passionate about something or you care about something, let that person know. Go after your dreams, go after your aspirations. I am a firm believer, and I agree with Josh on every aspect of that. But there's another side of the fence. If he's not fully divorced yet, there's a good chance that if you guys start hooking up or doing something, you could end up being, like a dirty little secret. Maybe he'll go back to his wife. We don't know. He's not fully divorced yet. I mean, that happens a lot, unfortunately. I think respect for ourselves is more important than almost anything in life. Know your worth, know your value. If he really does reciprocate your feelings, which it sounds like he might because you're asking us, so you might know something we don't know, what you should do. So if he really does care about you and does value you and how, which he should, then he would wait till he's, actually divorced to start anything with you. So that's what I would say. I would say go for it, but I would say wait till the paperwork is, done.
But I would say something now. Say it. Don't act on it, but let him know your feelings because there might be somebody else that's not going to.
Yeah, maybe he's shown interest, but maybe he's, not the type of guy that takes the bull by the horns or whatever. And he's scared to take the next step or whatever in your friendship or, who knows?
I don't know if there's kids involved. That's a whole different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. If not you, there could be somebody else that jumps in because they see what's going on. So maybe let him know how you feel, but let him know you're also okay waiting.
Yeah. Let him know your interest, but wait. I say wait till he's actually divorced because I've seen so many he's like, oh man, I'm hooking up with this girl. Like, this is awesome. I'm still married, blah, blah, blah. And it's like shit goes to hell real quick. So know your value, have self-respect, take care of, get all your ducks in a row first and then go for it.
But I agree with that. But in life, always don't hesitate. You never know. All it takes is 1 second and you're gone. So don't hesitate.
No, that's true too. Josh, let's get into Slash Trax Sports.
All right.
All right, Josh. Something really interesting happened recently. So brothers Bo and Josh Naylor of the Cleveland Guardians. So they both play for the Cleveland Guardians in the Major League Baseball. They both homered and they both hit home runs in the same inning of a game.
Wow.
On National Siblings Day. So last week on National Siblings Day, these two brothers who both play on the same team in the major leagues hit a home run in the same inning.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
That's why. Very, very cool. Something they'll never forget. I'm sure they'll make commemorative cards of this and put them in Topps sets for kids to buy, so that guy can try to sell cards of this. Yeah. In the future. But still not as cool, I think, as when Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad, Ken Griffey Sr., and I believe it was 1990, they hit back-to-back home runs for the Seattle Mariners in the same game. So, I can't remember who hit the first home run, but one of the Griffeys hit a homer, and then the next one followed. So that was, wild.
That is wild. I like that.
That's like you and the rodeo clown hitting back-to-back home runs. Unreal.
Yeah, it'd be on VR or something, but we would do it. I'd make it happen.
I hit a home run. Yeah, you did. Hey, Josh, second and last sports story of the episode.
Okay.
Yeah. 8 years ago on April 13th, so last week, 8 years ago, Kobe Bryant scored 60 points on 22 of 50 shooting in his final game of his career. So Kobe Bryant dropped 60 points in the last game of his historic, legendary NBA career. Most legends in the NBA will go their entire career without scoring 50.
Really?
They'll never score 50 in one game. You have to be on fire. He scored 60 when he was washed up basically in his last game.
Out of all sports, basketball is my favorite. If I really am forced to sit down and watch sports, and I love that some games go into like, the hundreds on the points. So I just assume that, which I'm being taught something here. I'm learning something new. I thought like Michael Jordan and people like that had done, like 80, 90 points a game, but just 50.
No, Jordan's career average for his entire career was 30 points.
Okay. Well, he also had Scotty out there and can't remember his name. Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Rodman wasn't much of a scorer. He was a rebounder, but he had to share the ball definitely with some good players. Horace Grant, Pippen, Steve Kerr, BJ Armstrong. He had some pretty decent teammates. But the most points ever scored in a game was Wilt Chamberlain. He scored 100 points in one game back in the 60s. And that was before they don't even have film footage of that. They just have a picture of him like holding up a 100-point, little sign that says 100 points. Kobe Bryant's career high was 81 points. So he has the second most points ever scored in a game. And that was against the Toronto Raptors, I believe, in like mid-2000s. He scored 81 points in a game, which is just wild to me. You have to shoot the ball like 30 or 40 times, but you're not just shooting it 30 or 40 times, you're making it 30 or 40 times. That's just incredible.
It is.
Incredible. So big ups to Kobe Bryant. I know he's kind of divisive. I know but a lot of people either love him or hate him. He had some personal decisions he made that weren't great in his career and in his personal life, but you'll never have seen or heard of anyone working harder at their craft than Kobe Bean Bryant. And I have major respect for that guy. And to this day, one of my biggest inspirations for my weight loss. I have watched so many videos of Kobe Bryant and listened to so many things of Kobe Bryant speaking on staying focused and working hard and not resting in the middle. That was Kobe's big thing, Josh.
Yeah.
Don't rest in the middle, rest at the end. So pretty good advice.
Yeah. I'm going to jump in real quick because I have a new segment for the podcast, and this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be, I don't know, I might come up with a better name later, but for right now, Josh's Cringe Corner or Secondhand Cringe. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but I'm going to have some really cringy stuff for you guys. And this is one I came across today. It has nothing to do with what the person's talking about in this little video, like the what's behind what he's doing. It's just the delivery. It could have been about anything, and it would be cringy as shit. So all you smooth criminals, here is my first edition of Josh's Cringe Corner, title pending. Here we go.
Let's go! The devil tried to block me, tried to stop me, but no. Try to steal my blessing, but God said, oh no. I'ma send some angels to help my remnant. They're gonna see my goodness in the end time like never before. Devil, do you really think you can stop them? You can block them, devil. Do you really think you can stop them or block them, devil? Do you really think you can stop them or block them, devil? By the power of the blood, you are defeated. You've been stuck by the word of God.
The cringe is strong with that one, man. Whew. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I can't believe that didn't show up in the top 10 on VH1 today. Wild.
You've been hit by, you've been struck by. Anyways, what we got? Pro wrestling time?
Didn't I rebuke you? I wonder if Michael Jackson would have signed off on that had he been alive to see, like, would he have allowed him to cover that jam?
I don't know. I've been on a Michael Jackson thing myself lately. Like there's videos of him where his real voice came out because
Real deep, real deep.
Yeah, he talked real soft to protect his singing voice, but sometimes it'd go like, "Yeah, guys, I'm doing real good," and then it'd be like, "Oh man, that was good."
I heard there's this video on YouTube. It's not like easy to find, but I did find it one time. It's like a video of Michael Jackson having a phone conversation with somebody in the 80s, and it's just him having like a funny conversation about girls and about just whatever, his family, and he's just being real off the cuff, real just like not like any way you'd ever envision Michael Jackson talking. Just like a normal person. It's wild. So like if you /Alex, if you want to see that, go to your Google machine or your YouTube and you just say like Michael Jackson recorded phone call or something. It should pop up.
I'll check that out too. I haven't seen that.
I sent you that clip, Josh, the other day where Michael Jackson noticed that the Japanese press only took a photo when he moved.
Yeah.
So he's like moving and the light, the bulbs flash and then he moves again and then he like catches it again and he just starts doing stuff to make them.
That was great.
And you
and
can
whenever
see
have you seen the one where the guy jumps up on the lift with him and he holds him to protect him?
No.
Yeah, there's one where it was in Korea or something or China. I don't remember where it was, but a fan jumps up on the lift that he's on and it goes really high up. And the whole time Michael Jackson keeps singing, but he's like protecting the person from falling the whole time. They're just sitting there going, yeah. It takes so long though that the person kind of gets bored towards the end and they're just kind of standing there while Michael Jackson's singing. And security grabs him roughly when it's over. But Michael actually made sure the guy was okay. And,
yeah, Michael's really good at making sure people are like safe, especially when he was like dangling his baby outside of the hotel window. He had his arms secure around his baby blanket, and he made sure that baby didn't drop, 20 stories to its death. So he had a good papa grip on that baby that he put out the window himself.
It's a cool video. I mean, it's still cool. It does make you think of that incident though. I had a little segue into wrestling.
Yeah.
Did you get to check out One Warrior Nation?
No, I didn't. I had to write the show today.
Okay.
So I didn't get to check it out.
There was an indie wrestler from like 2003 to like 2013 or something. And he wrestled under the name One Warrior Nation. He's like really short, but he resembles Jim Hellwig from like the 80s. His physique is pretty good, but it's not Ultimate Warrior physique. But the dude would dress up like the Warrior, wrestle as One Warrior Nation. He would sign autograph pictures of the Ultimate Warrior at indie shows, come out to the Ultimate Warrior's music. He couldn't lift people above his head, so he would just kind of hold him in like a fireman's carry position and then just drop them back.
Yeah.
And whenever he would come down for the slam, like the body press thing on the person on the ground, the body splash the Warrior would do, he would like put his arms up, but he would land on his knees first and just kind of like lay over top of him.
So he's like
horrible. It's horrible.
Like giving his opponents like a version of the torture rack. Kind of
It's a horrible version. And then he just drops them. He just lets go and they kind of roll off his back. It's called One Warrior Nation.
Okay.
Look him up, people. I might have to put a link in there. And I saw promos for shows. They were doing promotions for upcoming shows, and they would have him sitting there. Oh, he would run to the ring, shake the ropes and everything. But they would have him there and he'd have his head down, doing the whole Warrior muttering thing. And like, we have an ultimate surprise. We have an ultimate competitor coming, but they would never say it wasn't the Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior gave him a cease and desist back before he died.
I'm sure he did, dude. Warrior protected his intellectual property.
The guy never stopped. He kept doing it. And it's I don't even know how I came across this. It's a very small channel. It's 10 years old, but you got to see it to believe it. It's hilarious.
Well, I know how you came across it. We have the best interns on the internet. We have the Slash Trax network has the best group of people working for us, right?
Yeah, IPW.
We do. Yeah, definitely. Josh, let's get into the actual wrestling segment.
Let's do it.
All right, Josh. WrestleMania 40 was considered by all standards, by all measurements, according to WWE and TKO, was the most successful WrestleMania of all time. Gate wise, attendance wise, because they had 2 nights. Like merchandise wise, views wise, everything. They made a shitload of money. They had a ton of eyeballs on their product for the 2 nights of WrestleMania. Huge success for the company. And Cody Rhodes finally did it. He completed his story, Josh. Cody Rhodes is the new undisputed WWE champion.
It's amazing. I wish The Rock had stayed the hell out of it completely, but that's just my opinion. Everybody has different ones. It was awesome. Cody Rhodes finished his story. I do think the 2-night event thing made more sense during COVID, whenever they had like the empty arena or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, to make it so you didn't have like a full, 6-hour show in front of a no crowd or whatever. But I guess they're going to keep that going forever now. I don't know what I think of the 2-night thing.
Well, they do it because they get more money, obviously, now.
Yeah.
That's clearly why they're doing it.
And I guarantee lower card people in women's matches still get cut, even with 2 nights. That's what makes me mad when people like The Rock come in. They take time away from up and comers, but I digress. I'm a cynical wrestling fan. I apologize, but Cody Rhodes, whenever he won the Intercontinental Championship back in the day, he was an executive producer also for WWE at the time, and he used his own money to switch back to the old IC belt. But now he's just talent, and I'm worried we're not going to get the Winged Eagle because it's not going to be up to him. He's not going to have a say.
He was asked that question, I think, at the press conference for WrestleMania, and he said he was going to do his best to bring that belt back. But he said it's ultimately not up to him. So you're right there. The way he won that belt was wild, Josh. And I know how you feel about The Rock, but I couldn't disagree with you more. The Rock's realized they had to pivot. Nobody wanted to see Cody Rhodes not in the main event. It didn't make any sense, dude. He won the Royal Rumble. He's going to the main event to wrestle Roman. It made no sense what they were trying to do. The fans set shit on that. They're like, we want Cody to be in the main event. We don't want The Rock. So The Rock became heel Hollywood Rock again and coined himself the final boss. He did some of his best promos and in-ring work he has done in over 20 years, man.
Oh, I agree.
Really good. He pivoted. He was able to see what the crowd wanted and gave it to them instead of just going against the grain.
I agree with that. The only thing I don't like about what he did was whenever he showed up and just had this built-in arrogance that it's almost like he wasn't even paying attention to the climate of pro wrestling until he came back thinking, I'll go back and everybody's going to want The Rock in the main event. He was like thinking of himself. The reason he had to pivot and become the final boss and all that is because he didn't have his finger on the pulse of the wrestling business. If he did, he would have known what they were going for was a bad idea. And that's not what people wanted. So that's the disrespect I didn't care for, but he did a good job.
It came from a good place though, because CM Punk was originally supposed to wrestle at one of the main events of the night. He got injured. Seth Rollins was wrestling injured. They had to figure something out. And The Rock was like, okay, I'll take one of those spots. He was it came from a good place. He wasn't trying to shit on Cody Rhodes. He was just trying to help the product. But by doing so, I don't think he understood how over Cody was.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Cody is over. He's really popular. He sold over 1 million shirts in the last week. He moves product like nobody's business, Josh. He is fucking popular, man.
That's what I meant. I knew The Rock's not a horrible person but I think he got a little too full of himself, I guess. I don't know. He just really thought
his own press.
And I would hope that he would stay more in tune with pro wrestling, especially if he's going to be on the board, but it almost felt like he didn't know what was going on really. And he just assumed Rock shows up, crowd's happy, but
listen, Cody Rhodes is a champ. The Rock has taken a step back. He's going back to Hollywood. He'll be back in the future, I think.
Oh yeah.
Roman Reigns is going to take a break. Roman Reigns was a champ for almost 4 years. He main evented 9 WrestleManias, which I think is kind of a bogus record. He broke Hogan's record, which I think is a little. I think there might be a taint on this because Hogan never had the opportunity to main event 2 main events at WrestleMania in the same pay-per-view.
I don't count those.
That's kind of ridiculous.
I don't count that. I count that as one WrestleMania.
WWE doesn't.
I know. I'm saying my head canon. My head canon does.
That's stupid. Is Roman Reigns? I mean, as the tribal chief, I am a guy who shit on Roman Reigns when they were trying to shove him down our throats. He did what The Rock did by becoming the final boss. He became the tribal chief, and all of a sudden, he's this badass heel who can speak on the microphone. They're not feeding him stupid ass lines, and he got over organically. Amazing, Josh, what happens when they actually let wrestlers be themselves instead of feeding them a bunch of bullshit and stupid lines.
Yep.
Crazy.
And hey, the WWE's on the right track. They've replaced the shitty tag titles that I've hated for years.
Yeah, they got new belts.
With some good looking ones. I mean, they're still not great. They're still a little much, but maybe we can get the United States belt fixed because it's tacky as shit. The IC and United States belts are tacky as shit. And I'm so sick. And I'm so sick of the WW or the W on all the. It's like, come on, really? Put some. If it's not the Winged Eagle, at least make it where, I remember when it wasn't the unified title, it was like the Universal and the WWE title.
Yeah.
And it's like one's blue, one's red, same belt.
I know. That was listen, that
this
was
is horrible. The worst time for belts in the past 10 years. Worst.
So let's move on from WrestleMania.
I want to know your thoughts. You were about to say something. What was it?
Well, I was just going to say the belts are terrible. And they were never worse than when they were blue and red because it was like they were like basically telling the fans that we're stupid. It's like blue is SmackDown, red is Raw. That's what we're stupid. We don't understand, so they have to like make it that obvious. Like you guys are dumb, okay? Like we're going to spoon feed you this. It's an insult. Those belts are disgusting.
It is.
But it was all branding. It's what they were doing. They were just branding. It's like what they do with their draft bullshit. Which, by the way, the WWE draft is coming up, Josh.
Okay. So that'll last for what, 2 years, and then they'll just blend everybody anyway.
They do it. They change it every year now.
Oh, so okay.
The big thing is, where's Cody going to go? Is he going to wrestle on SmackDown or is he going to wrestle on Raw? Because Roman Reigns was a SmackDown guy.
Why
Cody's the champ now.
They should split the belts up again. Split it up into 2 belts and actually stick with it. Have a world champion and a universal, because we're fighting aliens apparently sometimes, and the WWE championship like we did in the early 2000s when you had the big gold belt and you had the WWF belt.
Well, you know what's weird that you're saying this because Cody Rhodes. Okay, Roman Reigns had both belts, and he had the belt. So technically, Cody Rhodes is the unified. He has the big gold and the WWE together.
Yeah.
But then WWE created another World Heavyweight Championship belt that Seth Rollins won, and he just lost it to Damian Priest at WrestleMania. So there's technically, if you look at it correctly, there's 3 World Championship belts. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I remember seeing something about the big gold belt coming back, but it's like mixed with like the old school WWF belt.
Dude, they created another championship belt. After they unified it for Roman Reigns. I'm not even joking, Josh. Put it on Seth Rollins because Roman Reigns only defended that title in 4 years like 38 times. So like he wasn't doing house shows, he wasn't doing all the pay-per-views. People were pissed. They're like, how are you going to have a world champion that is never on the show?
So
yes.
So the Seth Rollins belt? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, Seth Rollins had a belt that they just created like a year ago.
And that's going to be the belt for one show and Cody's will be the belt for the other show?
I don't know how they're going to do it.
Because that'll be okay with me. That'll be okay with me.
But that's stupid. But technically there's 3 championships there.
That is stupid. That's very stupid. I agree, but
what the hell?
If you're going to draft a champion, the main champion to a show, Cody. It's like, so people on the other show don't ever get a shot at the main title. They need to have a main title on both shows if they're going to do drafts.
when they back in the day, before we get into the next wrestling story, back in the day, when Stone Cold was the world champion and they did the draft or whatever, Stone Cold could just appear on both shows.
Exactly.
Yeah, they need to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. Josh, Vince McMahon. Maybe one of the last times we talk about Vince McMahon, because he's up to no good, Josh. Vince McMahon has recently put up his remaining 8,021,405 shares of TKO stock for sale. So his remaining shares, he's had 2 sell-offs. This is the final sell-off. Why is he selling everything? One, and is he selling everything because he's gonna start another wrestling company to compete with WWE, Josh?
I don't know. I'm just sitting here thinking that hush money payments are expensive. So he might be writing some checks out some more before because he's like, oh God, do the Vince voice saying, oh God, I can't let any more talk.
Oh God damn it. I've got so many women I've got to pay off. This is expensive. Damn it. Hey, I guess it doesn't matter what I'm going to do anyway, pal. Because if I'm supposed to pay them 3 to 4 times, I'll only send them the 1 payment. And then the chances of them getting a 2nd or 3rd payment, no chance. That's what they got. What an idiot. He wouldn't even be in this situation had he just stuck to his word and sent the next 2 payments to Janelle Grant. He brought this on himself. He is a dirtbag. He is a
greedy bastard.
He's a fucking terrible human being.
Greedy bastard.
Yeah. There's a very good chance that he will be indicted criminally.
Okay. I think so.
And he could possibly go to jail for whatever years are remaining in his life. And he's going to go to jail and he's going to have $1 billion because he's selling all these stocks, and he's going to have the most fucking fully loaded commissary of all time. He's going to be the richest fucking prisoner at whatever federal penitentiary he goes to. Good work, Vince. Just kudos.
He's going to be passing out WWE ice cream bars to all of his all the people on his floor.
The only place that can get WWE ice cream bars is whatever fucking federal penitentiary Vince McMahon ends up in.
They're back. They've been back for a few years, but they're not on sticks anymore. They're ice cream sandwiches, but they've been back for a few years.
Okay. Or they have like the new wrestlers on them and stuff?
Yep.
Okay. So they get to shove Seth Rollins down your throat again, huh?
I'm not joking this time. I'm not joking this time.
You're going to Seth Rollins. Open your mouth, damn it.
It's like, yeah, the ice cream bars are coming back. The first 2 wrestlers to appear on them are going to be Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. You don't even have to buy these ice cream bars. They'll just come by your house every Monday, Tuesday. Is Tuesday SmackDown now?
No, it's Friday.
Okay. Every Monday, they're going to come by your house every Monday, every Friday, and 1 Sunday a month and just shove the ice cream bars down your throat. You don't have to buy them, and they're going to make you like them. They really are back.
God.
There's no sticks now. They're just ice cream sandwiches, but they have those and they have NASCAR ones. But
well, hey guys, if Johnny Ace and Vince McMahon show up to your house with a box of WWE ice cream bars, fucking lock the door and run, okay? Get away from the door. Hey Josh, last wrestling story of the episode.
Okay.
Mick Foley, who was planning his final match, kind of a la Ric Flair, for his 60th birthday celebration. So if you guys follow Mick Foley at all on his Instagram or his Facebook or whatever, he's been posting updates of his training. And I believe that he had recently lost almost 30 pounds in preparing for this match.
Yeah.
Well, all that training and hard work and planning is not going to come to fruition because Mick Foley, unfortunately, Josh, during his training, sustained a concussion.
Yep.
And the match is called off. And Mick Foley doesn't even know how he got the concussion. He doesn't recall getting it. He doesn't know how he got it, but he got it. He got one. So if he's getting a concussion just training, it's not a good idea for him to come out of retirement.
I'm relieved. Like I'll die on this hill. Ric Flair wants to die in the ring, and if that's what he wants, I want that for him. Mick Foley, I don't want that for him because I know that's not what he wants. His family doesn't want him to die in the ring. He doesn't want the ring to kill him. He really is lucky that he didn't walk away with more damage than he already has. So I'm relieved because he has nothing left to prove. Nothing.
And neither does Rick.
No, Rick doesn't either, but it's what he wants. So
Mick Foley and I've said this before, is like one of the most genuinely nice people ever in the wrestling business. You hear all these terrible stories about wrestlers becoming drug addicts and cheating on their wives and not taking care of their kids and just dying early and just terrible story after terrible story. And there's a handful of guys that were actually good human beings, and Mick Foley was one of them. And he is one of them. And I don't want anything bad to happen to Mick. I like Mick big time.
Man, if you were to take me back in time or go back in time and talk to me in the past, hold on, and ask me who I thought would be some of the last wrestlers standing from that period, I would not list Scott Steiner, Jake the Snake Roberts, Ric Flair, and Mankind. I would think we would have lost them sooner, but like they're the ones that are still standing. And meanwhile, Mr. Perfect, British Bulldog, all those people are gone. It's just crazy.
Jake Roberts is the one that is like, I cannot believe he's like Mick Jagger or like Keith Richards. It's like, he's not going to die.
No. And he's very intelligent, very intelligent.
Jake was actually, he was pegged to be a writer for WWF when it was still WWF back in the day, but his personal problems and demons couldn't keep the job. But Jake is a great mind of the business. He's one of the only people that would give a promo and not have to yell. He would talk low and sell the promo just by his eyes and the way he delivered it, and how his low tone made him more menacing.
And he was like Piper. He didn't need a belt. He never needed a belt.
No, he was over because he was Jake the Snake. Yep. And Piper was over because he was Roddy Piper. The problem with Piper, not that there's a problem with Roddy Piper, but I feel like he guarded himself so much. Like, I am not letting anyone pin me or submit me. And by him doing that, I think it messed up his opportunity to get a world championship, because I think people were like, okay, well, we could give Piper the belt and he could be like the greatest heel champion of all time, maybe of all time. Okay, that was a huge missed opportunity. But can we trust that he'll give the belt back? I really think people were nervous about that. I
think the Intercontinental title run was just as a dedication to what he had done.
Thank you.
I don't think he didn't need it. He didn't need that. He never needed the world title. He was an effective heel without it. And
Roddy, I know Roddy Piper wasn't on the agenda to talk about, but he was, I'm telling you, man, like charisma
had the
turned up on 10. Like literally one of the most charismatic wrestlers, one of the greatest talkers. And one of the saddest things ever was one of his last interviews, when people knew that he was like kind of getting sick. He was giving an interview and he couldn't talk. He couldn't find his words. And that was when people were like, okay, something's wrong with Hot Rod. Do you remember that interview? He was like on the Rich Eisen show.
Sort of. My biggest thing though is knowing that, he made some jokes at Stone Cold's expense, and Stone Cold got him fired from his podcast and his Legends contract. And I think that played a big part in his health going down, but that's like a whole nother topic.
I knew the podcast took a hit, but he got let go of his Legends contract because of the Stone Cold stuff.
Yep.
That's really interesting. I did not know that. RIP Hot Rod. And on the channel Slashaholics, if you haven't seen it, and I can't remember what episode it is, Josh and I did a tribute to Hot Rod, and I actually went out to his graveside and posted a little tribute to him. So I actually got to see where Hot Rod was laid to rest, and it was really emotional. So if you go back in the archive of the episodes, you could find that. Josh, let's get into Slash Trax, spooky news and horror.
Let's do it.
Okay. On April 13th, Josh, 1984, over 40 years ago, Friday the 13th, the final chapter was released in theaters, Josh, and they stayed true to their word, and they never made another Friday the 13th movie ever again.
I know. It's crazy, man. It's
crazy.
That was the end of it. That was the end of the line.
That was the final chapter. Yeah.
I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites.
What's some memories of that movie for you? And did you like Ted White's portrayal of Jason in the film?
I liked it. I liked his portrayal. Kane Hodder's always going to be my favorite in CJ Graham, but because I prefer the undead Jason better than the human
Same.
one.
Same
Even though I used the human one in my story, it was easier to write. But what stood out to that for me, other than the skinny dipping, because I was about 12 the first time I watched it.
Double mint twins.
I think getting to see his hand split down the middle, that was gruesome and very memorable for me. And the corkscrew. Where's the fancy corkscrew? You know, that thing.
Wham! Fucking Mr. McFly, just corkscrew right through the head, man. Corey Feldman did a great job in that movie as a young kid. I really liked some of the kids that were in that film. I liked the group of teenagers. They weren't just cannon fodder.
Yeah.
They actually had some depth to them. Like the guy who gets killed in the shower, he's like having sex with that girl who's like clearly like the virgin character. It's like her first time.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I think I'm in love." They were actually building characters, and they were written in such a way that I actually did not want them to get murdered.
Right. Except for Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy sucked.
Douche.
Look it up in your computer.
Yeah, I just did. That's what I got.
Yeah. Crispin Glover. I've actually heard people speak about this. His portrayal of his character in Friday the 13th, the final chapter, had he not have ever played Willard or been in Hot Tub Time Machine or got extremely famous from Back to the Future, people would still be talking about that guy from Friday the 13th Part 4 because he stole every scene he was in. He was just so interesting and weird. He was a weird character. I couldn't take my eyes off of him.
You should watch the history of him appearing on David Letterman, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's Letterman or Leno or something. Every time he would go on, he would just piss off Letterman more and more.
He'd be like method, right? He'd be like,
oh yeah, every time. He would play a character for a movie that he hadn't even made yet. And he would come, at the time.
And they're like, "What the hell are you doing? We don't even know what you're talking about."
It's crazy. Right, it's so good. If you like Crispin, it's so good. Look it up on YouTube, folks. Yeah. I was going to say Crispin Glover. Shit. This is what happens when you drink too much Warrior Fuel, folks. Oh, if you want to hear, I was going to say, if you want to hear me do a horrible, well, maybe not so horrible, Crispin Glover impersonation, check out the Friday the 13th for the final chapter fan novelization audiobook here on the channel. It was written by Landon Turner. He wrote a fan novelization for 4, 5, and 7, and I've narrated all of those so far, but I try to do a Crispin Glover the best I can in it. So
that's got to be a bitch because he's really interesting. The way he speaks, it's like, it's good. It's good. It's just good music. It's good.
It's hard.
Yeah, he's a weird guy. Josh, real quick story for horror.
Okay.
Last week, April 8th, was Kane Hodder's birthday.
Happy birthday, Kane.
Yeah, happy birthday, Kane. Our favorite. We agree 100% on the Jason portrayals. Kane is 1, CJ's 2, and Ted White is actually 3 for me.
Yep.
So yeah, happy birthday, Kane. And Kane, we're still waiting on you to accept the invite to do Getting Sidetracked. So give yourself a birthday present and appear on the channel, okay?
A new subscriber the other day commented saying, "I love your channel, and apparently I have to keep listening all the time or Kane Hodder's going to kill me."
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, I saw that. That was great.
Yeah.
Josh, over 20 years ago, on April 9th, 2004, Shaun of the Dead was released in theaters.
Perfect movie. I'll tell you why. That movie is a good zombie movie. It's a good horror movie. It's a good comedy. It's a good drama. It's a good action movie. It's got everything in it. There's parts that make me laugh hysterically. There's parts that make me jump. I love the practical effects they use, the makeup. And I even almost shed a tear a couple times, like whenever his mom gets bit and everything, and he's, or when she finds the flowers. And it's perfect. It's a perfect movie. Like we don't get those very often. I think I've said like Frequency is another perfect movie. It just nails everything that it's trying to do. If you've never seen Frequency, it's not a horror movie, but watch it. It's got one of those so happy it's makes you cry endings. But yeah, Shaun of the Dead, man, one of my favorite movies of all time, definitely my top 10 movies of all time, and it's a perfect production.
Perfect movies. Back to the Future, Shaun of the Dead, Monster Brawl, Jacko, Point Break, Stand By Me,
Ghoulies Go to College.
Ghoulies Go to College. No, Shaun of the Dead. Can you promise me something, Josh? Can we make a promise right now?
What?
If I become a zombie, can you promise that you'll chain me up in the backyard, please?
Yeah.
Just keep me. Yeah, we'll still play video games and stuff. I just don't let me bite you.
Okay.
Just like Sean did to his best friend. That part of the Shaun of the Dead, like that joke where he's trying to like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the old Winchester. We're gonna have a pint, and like that little bit where everything revolves around. The only thing he can think of is to go to the bar and have a drink. I don't know why that's so funny. It reminds me of the South Park underpants gnomes joke, where they're like, how the hell are we gonna make money off this? It's like, oh, we steal the underpants, and then step 2, they say nothing. Step 3, profit. It's just like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good shit. The saddest part to me of Shaun of the Dead was it wasn't the mom thing. It was the part where his stepfather.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He actually liked Shaun. He loved Shaun. And then when he turned into a zombie, you could see the like the sadness in Shaun's eyes that like this man who actually cared for me is now undead. It's like it was just like a really kind of quick thing, but that just struck me.
They make you sad, and then they immediately make you laugh because he's like, "Mom, stop the car. He's dead." And she goes, "He's not dead." He's like, "Rah."
Yeah, no, he's dead. They do, and I think that movie still holds up today because even though it's a farce and it's a comedy, the zombies are still trying to kill them, and they're gruesome. They take it seriously. Like they're in a very serious situation, but the comedy is happening organically from the situation. They never like the zombies aren't like winking at the audience sort of thing. Does that make sense?
Time out. I think we need to cut this short because our movie review that you told me I could pick, Shaun of the Dead. I think we need to give this movie a big breakdown. So
I think we can go deep dive on that. So Shaun of the Dead /Alex Slash Trax reviews episode number 10, which we will record next week and be available the weekend after this Saturday, because this episode of Slash Trax News is dropping Saturday morning. Okay. Great pick, Josh.
Yeah, we got to.
Let's get into, so let's save this. So we broke it down a little bit, but let's get into the last Slash Trax spooky story of the night.
Let's do it.
All right, man. I know you're excited for this one. You got a seatbelt?
Scream.
Scream 7, Josh. Scream 7 news. Nev Campbell is officially back. So she's under contract. She's coming back as Sidney Prescott. Kevin Williamson, original writer of Scream 1 and 2, I think, and maybe even 3. He's going to come on. He's under contract to direct. So he's stepping into Wes Craven's shoes. And Josh, I know you're very excited to hear this. Courtney Cox is actually in discussion, Josh, to reprise her role once again. She's going to be Gale Weathers, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Well, thank Christ for that.
For Scream 7. So what's your thoughts, Josh? Are you pumped for Scream 7?
I would be if they hadn't already fucked up. Like, we've got the perfect storm right here of Kevin Williamson back. We got Sidney Prescott back. Now, if they hadn't killed Dewey,
I know
this would be huge. This would be a huge announcement, but unless they want to pretend like 5 and 6 never happened, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Pull a Halloween 2018.
Yeah, just totally like veer off into another timeline.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Listen, if they can bring Billy back as a Space Force serial killer ghost, or they can bring back Dewey as a Force ghost, right?
I guess.
I don't know.
The way he got killed too.
Shoot him in the head. Like he just kind of shows up glowing, like, make sure you shoot him in the head. Like hey, if Dewey came back as a Space Force ghost, would he limp still?
Yes, yes, because it's Dewey. It's Dewey.
His spirit is still limping. Dude, Courtney Cox in Scream 6 basically got gutted. I don't know how she could even come back from that. She's
I
dead.
haven't even watched all of Scream 6 yet.
I
sadly.
sent you the code, man.
I couldn't get through it. I'm gonna finish it, but it's just I tried.
What the hell is wrong?
Hey, but now that
we're friends,
now that I know she got gutted, I'm gonna jump on that shit quick.
she doesn't. I don't think she gets gutted, but she gets fucking annihilated. Like there's no Scream 6, Slashaholics. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. Every character in that movie, there's so many main characters in that movie that like they should be dead. Okay, they're getting stabbed repeatedly. They're these knife wounds. Even one of them would kill you. You would bleed out. They're getting stabbed like 9 times, and they're coming back. They're living through the movie.
They had monster fuel.
Or
they had warrior fuel. Warrior fuel.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Maybe that's how we bring Dewey back. Just pour some fucking warrior fuel with some bath salts on his wounds, and maybe he'll be reanimated.
Yeah, and maybe after we bring him back, maybe next time a 12-year-old preteen can eviscerate him from belly button to neck. You know, a preteen that weighs like 90 pounds this time.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Dude, she cut him up from groin to neck.
And in the back and front at the same time. I mean, you know, I'm not like super jacked or anything, but I couldn't do half of what that little bitch did.
She field dressed him like he was an elk or something. Yeah. It was bad, dude.
It was bad.
So Scream 7 coming up. Josh, let's get into headlines to end the show.
All right, let's do it.
All right, man. The Eclipse was last week. You got to see it, okay? You told me it was spooky as hell.
It was.
Yeah, we had a full eclipse in Oregon like in 2016 or something like that, and I remember it was fully bright outside, and then it turned into night, and it got noticeably colder. Was it like that for you?
Yeah, and the creepiest part is our dogs were barking before it happened. Crickets were chirping. Birds were making noises. The wind was blowing. And as soon as it started getting darker, the dogs stopped barking. The wind stopped blowing. You couldn't hear an insect. You couldn't hear a bird. It was dead silent, dead still out here in the country. And it was so still and so dark. And, you know, your brain's like, it shouldn't be this dark this time of day, even though you know why. And looking around, it felt like we were like in a video, like nothing looked real because there was like no wind, no noise, nothing. It was very isolating and very creepy because there was no noise whatsoever. No wind, no noise. Everything just stopped. It was wicked. I loved it.
Yeah, I was so jealous of you that you got to see it because it was like, I remember it being really eerie and cool. So piggybacking off of that Eclipse news, because this is the reason I brought it up. A Mexican news outlet, and they apparently don't have as good of interns as we do, because we would have never let this slip by us. Okay, Mexican news outlet accidentally airs a man's testicles during the solar eclipse coverage. RCG Media faced ridicule and backlash after airing the footage. They aired this footage on air after asking viewers.
They aired it on air. They didn't air it off the air.
They aired this clip of this guy's testicles after they asked the viewers to send in their own clips of the eclipse. So somehow whoever was vetting the clips to like put on air didn't catch this one, and they actually aired.
I know why. Because the person that was vetting it didn't have any like eclipse glasses, and they were afraid to look at the footage, so they just send it through.
They're like, just push it.
Push it. That reminds me of the wrestling WWE when they had all the computer screens up instead of people in the audience. People did so much, and that's, you know, I'm not going to get into it, but they did some wild shit on those TV screens.
Chris Benoit appeared on an episode of Raw.
Yep.
Yeah. That was I do remember that. And I knew that's what you were talking about when you said that. Also, oh, hey, real quick. I don't even have it written down, but OJ Simpson died.
Yeah, he sure did.
So here's what, and I, you know, say what you want to say about OJ Simpson or whatever. I'm not going to get into, I think he's guilty. Okay.
Yeah.
But there was something there was something really interesting that happened. When he was on his deathbed, apparently he had 30 visitors, or like around 30, and they were friends and family. The people that visited him had to sign an NDA and also hand over their cell phone before they could visit him. Like, is it possible that OJ had a legitimate deathbed confession?
Yeah, I think he did. I think that's probably what happened.
Like, I think he may. I mean, I'm not. There's a good chance that maybe he actually felt remorse for what he did.
Yeah.
And confessed to it. I always thought it was really the day OJ, unalived Ron and Nicole. OJ died that day too.
Yeah, he never looked the same. His eyes never looked the same. It was like a totally different person.
OJ, from everything I've read or seen about him, he loved his fans. He loved the public. He loved being OJ. He glad-handed everybody. He hugged his fans. He wanted to take photos, sign autographs. And when all that stuff happened, when he killed his ex-wife Nicole, God rest her soul, and Ron Goldman, God rest his soul. It was horrible, 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 horrible. When he did that, OJ died too, because he was never looked at the same ever again.
No.
And he was the kind of person that needed validation from strangers.
Yeah.
And he never got it again. And that's just an observation. So I hope, if there is a higher power or whatever, hopefully he made peace, because even though he didn't go to prison for that, I'm sure he paid for it every day.
Yeah.
If he had any part of being a human left, he probably felt bad for what he did.
Yeah, and he completely threw Naked Gun 4 out the window.
I never thought of O.J. Simpson like I did other killers, because serial killers, like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy, it's like those guys were killers for the sake of killing.
I think it was a crime of passion.
It was a crime of passion. Like he was stalking her, and he lost his freaking marbles. It's horrible. He should have never been in
the cracker.
Yeah, he should have never been in that situation. He should have never been stalking her. This whole thing could have been averted. He was O.J. Simpson. He could have had any woman, for the most part, in L.A. It's totally pointless.
That's probably what got him so obsessed, was he should have been able to have her, and he didn't. So.
Yeah, you know what? You're probably right, actually. I've never, when you're always told yes, and when someone finally tells you no, I don't know, man. Because I'm used to being told no constantly. So that, you know what I'm saying? Like, totally opposite.
I'm still shocked. Beth said yes, honestly.
Hey, attaboy.
Blows me away.
Dead muffin. Hey, Josh, to piggyback off the Eclipse story, right around 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is when the eclipse happened, Google searches for "My Eyes Hurt" spiked amid the solar eclipse happening. So terms like "my eyes hurt," and "why do my eyes hurt" spiked in popularity around the time of the eclipse happening.
That's hilarious. That is just hilarious. I love it. I needed that. Thank you.
These people are just looking directly into the sun, Josh.
Well, I was filming it, even though you couldn't see it. I was just trying to film so I could get how it was getting darker and stuff. Because even in the totality zone, when the shadow goes completely over the sun, even when it's dark, you can still see the sun. Like, you have to put the glasses on to see the blackness over it.
Yeah.
But through a phone or something, it just looks like the sun, because even that little bit around the edge is bright enough to do that. And I was doing the phone, and I kind of looked up and moved it, and I accidentally looked right at it for a second, 1 millisecond, and those colors and flashes stuck with me for 30 seconds. It was pretty bad.
Like on The Simpsons, the goggles, they do nothing.
Hey, not going to say what I mean about this, but at least I wasn't dumb enough to take my glasses off and go,
dude,
very beautiful eclipse. But anyway.
Last story of the show, Josh.
Yes, what do we got?
All right, this is big news. This is breaking news. 99-year-old man divorced his 96-year-old wife after 77 years of marriage. An Italian man named Antonio discovered love letters from a past lover of his wife's Rosa. So Rosa had been keeping love letters, apparently from an illicit affair from the 40s.
Oh, wow.
They were, and him and or her, Rosa and Antonio were married in the 30s. So she was having the affair probably like 10 years after they got married.
Wow.
Well, Antonio found the letters, confronted her about it, and she copped to it. She admitted it. She owned it. So he actually filed for divorce and was granted a divorce at the age of 99.
Hell yeah. You go, man. Stand up for yourself. Life's short. Life is really short. 99-year-old.
He stood on business, man. Antonio didn't take any shit. If you fuck with Antonio, hell will be paid and he will take the trash out. Listen, Rosa's not for the streets. She's for the cemetery. Okay. She's 96, dude. Okay.
He needs
Game
to get
over.
him a young girl, like, 87, 88.
I know. Play the field a little bit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, as a matter of fact, Antonio, if you're watching Slash Trax News right now, write in to Ask Slashy. We'll set you up with some advice for playing the field again, getting out there, places to go where you can meet women a little bit younger or closer to your age. We'll set you up.
And we'll send you some warrior fuel. Keep you around forever.
Josh, that's the end of the episode, buddy.
All right. Thank you all so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Shoot us an email at slashtrax2020@gmail.com. If you're a sponsor, a possible sponsor, prospective sponsor, drop us some information there. We'd love to check out your product. Please consider joining the Patreon, folks. We really need your help on the channel. We cannot monetize it through YouTube. The Patreon information, Cameo information, PayPal, and Cash App. All the ways you can help the channel are in the pinned comment and the description below on the screen. Yeah. Be excellent to each other. Good night. Have a pleasant tomorrow. And remember, the sun never sets on those who ride into it. Say good night, Alex.
Good night, Alex. Mahalo, Slashaholics. Mahalo, dogs.
You know what? On the count of 3, let's give them a "We're Gonna Live Forever" together. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna live forever.
Forever.
You got me mad now.